Hi, I'm Patty. I'm going to lead you through this unit orientation video for the second grade unit, Properties of Materials. In Properties of Materials, students work as glue engineers to figure out the anchor phenomenon in their unit. They're working to help create a better glue for use at their school, which serves as the design problem for the unit. Students investigate properties of materials as well as properties of mixtures. They apply what they learn to create a glue for use at their school that meets a set of design goals. Students present evidence-based arguments stating why their glue mixture would solve their school's need for a better glue. As they work through the 4 chapters, they gather evidence from multiple sources by doing, talking, reading, writing, and visualizing. Their explanations become more complex over time as they construct understanding about properties of materials and how those properties affect the properties of mixtures. They look at how heating and cooling can change materials to a new substance and learn that a mixture may have a combination of the properties of its ingredients. This unit is a design unit. In their role of glue engineers, students develop skills with the science and engineering practice, constructing explanations, and designing solutions, with a particular focus on gathering data from investigations and readings and using that evidence to design a series of glue mixtures, where each one meets design criteria better than the mixture before. Students learn, plan, make, and test glue recipes in an iterative design cycle. The focal cross-cutting concept in this unit is cause and effect. In their role as glue engineers, students move through the design process and predict and investigate the effect that the cause of adding a particular substance will have on a glue mixture. They also look at the effect of heating and cooling by comparing the properties of unheated substances with those that have been heated and cooled to their original temperature. Every Amplify Science elementary unit also includes a focal sense-making strategy, which students leverage as they read and also during investigations. This unit sense-making strategy is making predictions. Units in Amplify Science, K5, have a main writing genre, and in Properties of Materials, it is developing a design argument. That's the overview. Now I'll talk you through what happens throughout the unit, how students build from their prior knowledge to get to complex causal explanations of the anchor phenomenon. To do this, I'll summarize the key ideas students figure out in each chapter and how they use these ideas to explain the anchor phenomenon piece by piece. For each chapter, I'll highlight 1 or 2 key evidence sources students use. But remember, in every chapter, and indeed in every lesson, students gather evidence multimodally from many different sources. In Chapter 1, students investigate and learn that different materials have different properties, and that mixtures can also have different properties depending on their ingredients. Key evidence sources include information gained from reading the book, What If Rain Boots Were Made of Paper?, and observing properties of mystery glue mixtures. At the end of Chapter 1, students return to the anchor phenomenon. They explain that glue is a mixture of several ingredients, such as flour, water, and cornstarch. Depending on the properties of those ingredients and how they are combined, you can create different glues. Some glues might be stickier or stronger than others. By understanding materials and observing and testing different recipes, you can choose the ingredients that provide the properties you are seeking. In Chapter 2, students focus on looking at how the properties of substances change when they are heated or cooled. Some substances change into a different substance when they're heated or cooled, so they have different properties when they return to their original temperature. Other substances remain the same, so they have the same properties when they return to their original temperature. In this chapter, students collect evidence from investigations where they are heating and cooling substances and comparing the substances. They visualize categorizing these substances with a digital sorting tool. At the end of Chapter 2, students are able to explain that when water is heated and returned to room temperature, the properties go back to the way they were, but the properties of some other materials change after heating and going back to room temperature. For example, when a mixture of cornstarch and water is heated and then returned to room temperature, it has different properties than it had before. In Chapter 3, students dig into testing how a mixture may have a combination of the properties of its ingredients. By combining certain substances, the resulting mixture will have certain properties. Students graph and analyze results of glue strength tests, discussing their evidence as they synthesize information. At the end of Chapter 3, students are able to explain that sometimes the properties of the glue are a combination of substances that make up the glue, such as the flour-water combination. Ingredients may be combined to create different glues that have different properties. For example, baking soda, which is smooth, and flour, which is sticky, can be combined to make a smooth and sticky glue. In the final chapter of the unit, students work to solve the problem of designing a glue mixture that is better than what the school uses now. By the conclusion of Chapter 4, students will have conducted tests of their glue recipes and evaluated the results of their tests to determine how well their glues meet the design goals. They can use evidence from their tests to iterate on their glue recipes and improve their solutions. They write a design argument for the principal, recommending a glue recipe, and they write a reflection on designing a mixture for a certain purpose. I hope you're feeling excited to start teaching this unit. In addition to the resources on the Amplify platform, check out the at-home videos for properties of matter to help you teach the unit remotely. At-home unit resources will be on the Program Hub on December 16th. You can use any combination of these resources to engage your students in learning about properties of materials. Please let me know how I can help you plan for instruction. I'm Patty Works, and my email address is pworks@amplify.com.